Hello, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a what's in the bag, but it's not going to be the usual sort where we go through what clubs I'm using. Today I'm going to go through my practice bag and some of the training gadgets I use on a regular basis and explain why they're useful to me and how they may benefit your game. Now, if you follow me on my blog 3 Off the Tee, you'll realise that I enjoy having lessons and have those on a regular basis and really enjoy the process of practicing and trying to improve my game. And over the years I've managed to get a number of training gadgets, many of which have been a waste of money and are usually discarded into a dark corner and gather dust, never to be seen again. However, there are one or two that have been in my bag for a number of years, plus one or two recent additions, so we're going to go through that and I'll explain why they're useful to my game. First things first though, if you read my blog regularly, you'll realise that the quest for single figures has hit a small hazard, and I've been hospitalised recently for a couple of days and I'm now suffering from what they call post-viral fatigue. In essence, my body's shot and I am absolutely knackered and fatigued and I've got no energy at all following this viral infection I've had. It's meant there's been no practice and very little golf in the last month or so, and obviously the quest for single figures has taken a bit of a hit because of that. Now, on the plus side, I'm getting better and I'm hoping to start practicing regularly again this week down at the range, and I've got a lesson booked with my teaching professional, a guy called Andy Piper at Lavender Driving Range in Ascot, and from there I'm hoping to crack on, get back on the course and get down to single figures. As I said before, the process is twofold, and the first aim is to get from 14 to 12 as soon as possible this season, and then reassess, take stock, and then work out the best way of getting from 12 down to 9 and what areas of the game need working on, and crack on from there. So if you've never seen the blog, if you're watching this on a laptop, if you go to the top right hand side of my homepage, you'll see a little icon for the blog, and if you're watching this on an iPad or a mobile phone, if you scroll across to where it says about and click on that, there'll be a link to my website and it'll take you to the 3 Off the Tee blog. Please feel free to read it and to follow me, and it will give you regular updates on what I'm doing and how my game's going. Today, back to the bag then, and we'll crack on and see what's in there. I hope you enjoy it. See you in a minute. Right then, what's in the bag? And first of all, apologies for the dodgy camera work, but we're on a selfie stick. So first off, we have this, which is a Swarovski laser rangefinder. Now again, if you go onto the 3 Off the Tee blog, I've done a full review on this and everything is explained on there about what I think and how good it's been. I wasn't sure whether I actually needed a laser rangefinder for practice and for playing on the course, if I'm being perfectly honest, and this is a very low entry level laser rangefinder that I got off Amazon for less than £100. However, having said that, it's worked really well for me and has been an absolute godsend both on the course and when I've been practicing. When I go to the range, I can get very accurate readings to a number of targets because, as we all know, we never seem to use the same bay twice. And when I've been to the practice ground at my club, Royal Ascot, when I've been working on things like my pitching, I can get very accurate distances to a target, so that I know, for example, if I'm working on a 30, 40 or 50 yard pitch swing, I know how far each area is that I'm working on and can get an accurate reading. Now on the course, it's again really come into its own, and I've tested this against some of my playing partners, Bushnells and Nikons, and it's really accurate compared to those. It gives the same readings. So for very little money, if you're in the market for a laser rangefinder but don't want to splash out £200–300 for these Bushnells and Nikons, then this is well worth looking at. Again, if you go onto the blog and read my review, I've got quite a detailed review on there with some fairly independent review, thoughts about it. But that's my Swarovski laser rangefinder. Next, there's just the glove. Now this is an old one that I used to use on the course and is getting a bit worn, so it just simply gets chucked into the practice bag for use in there now. And 3 Pro Vs with my nickname Homer on. Again, I just use these on the putting green, and just so I've got some balls just to work on pitching and chipping and putting. So that is the bottom section of the bag complete. Nothing to it really. Next section, and now we're getting into the meat of the practice gadgets. First off is this, a power band. In essence, it's a giant elastic rubber band, and you place an arm in each one of these holes and put it up to just above the elbow, and what it does, it's designed to keep you connected in your swing. So you can use this on a full swing, or if you're working on things like your pitching and bunker play, you can use it for that as well. And basically it keeps the arms very connected to the body. Now I tend to get very disconnected with my backswing, especially on the full swing, and my arms tend to move away from my body initially and aren't always connected. So this has been a great gadget. It's been in my bag for many years now, and I use it on a regular basis just to try and keep everything moving in sync, and so I can take it back in one movement. You can find these on the internet under power band or similar, and they're pretty cheap. They're about 10 or 15 pounds, if that, and it's just something that I use on a regular basis, and it's just really useful for keeping everything together. So that's the power band. Next, 2 sticks and some string. Now many of you will have seen this. It's a putting aid. You put one stick in the ground behind the hole, pull the string taut, put the other stick in the ground, and you've got a nice plumb line between the ball and the hole. You put the ball intersecting the string and make a stroke, and it just shows you whether your putting stroke is on line or whether you're taking it out to in or in to out. I don't use this all of the time, but it does sit in my bag because I use it when I think my stroke's a little bit off, or I just want reassurance that I am just taking it back and through, especially on the short putts. So it will get used, but it's not something that's out every time I practice my putting. However, the next gadget is the hole reducer, sometimes known as the Doughnut. There's lots of names for this on the internet, but again, it's a putting device, and it sits flush into the hole, so it doesn't do the hole any damage. And basically what it's designed for is working on short putts, normally no more than sort of 2 or 3 feet away, and with both rings in, it reduces the size of the hole by 64% or so. Now if I'm being totally honest, I do find with the smaller hole, at my level, it's too difficult or very difficult. I find it incredibly frustrating sitting there or standing there making 2-foot putts regularly that I think I've hit from the centre of the club, going in the centre of the hole, and it doesn't drop. So if I'm being honest, I don't tend to use the middle ring. I use just the outer ring, which reduces the hole by about 42%. And I find this much more beneficial for my game. Again, I use it on 2 or 3 foot putts, and it's really useful, especially if you're somebody that doesn't hole a lot of short putts or don't have much confidence with those distances. I find that if I put this in and work on it for 15 or 20 minutes and then take the Doughnut or hole reducer out, the hole itself suddenly looks really big, and I tend to make a lot of putts really easily with a lot more confidence. I also tend to put this into my bag when I'm playing the competition, and like to just put it into a hole 15 minutes or so before I go out for a round and just hit a few putts and see them drop in. And again, when I get onto the first or second hole and there isn't one of these in the hole, it looks massive, and I feel far more confident on the first putt for par of the day, or even putt for birdie on the day, knowing that I've put the work in and knowing that the hole looks, really big. So that's the hole reducer or the Doughnut. Again, you can pick these up on the internet. Something that's been in my bag for years and years and years, and this I will use every time I go out and work on my putting. So that is the next section of the bag done. Right then, moving on, next section. And all I have in here are some impact stickers. Now, most of us will know what these are for and would have seen these on a regular basis. I don't use these all the time at the range, but I will put them on if I'm having some issues with strike, just to see exactly where it's coming out of the club and trying to work on finding a way of getting it more into the middle of the club. And that, simply enough, is all I have in that pocket. I have a couple of different makes, not for any particular reason, just other than when I was ordering them on the internet, these were a better deal at the time. So, impact stickers, all I have in that section of the bag. Right then, the top of the bag, and you can see an 8-iron. This, if the camera can pick it up, is the DST compressor. If I take it down, and hopefully the camera can pick this up, it has a bent shaft, and this is a relatively new addition to my bag and is designed to get the hands in the correct position at impact. It's been really useful as a training gadget, and I use it every single time I go to the range. As I say, the bent shaft gets the club in, or gets the hands into the right position, imitating impact, and you just make a full swing from there. Now, this won't actually go as far as a normal 8-iron, but if you don't make the correct swing or don't get back into the correct impact position, you will hit bad shots with it, and it will give instant feedback to you. What I will do is I will actually put a link to the company website, because they've got 1 or 2 YouTube videos that can actually explain the concept far better than I ever can. But as I say, this is a gadget, or this is a training aid that's been in my bag now for the last 6 to 8 months, and is something I use every time I go to range, and I think it's fantastic. It retails at around £70 or £80 depending on where you get it from, but I thoroughly recommend this if you're having trouble with impact or you just want to improve your ball striking. So that is really the only gadget I have in the top of my bag. So that's that section done. Right then, the final 2 training aids I use live in the side pocket of my practice bag. Rather than watch me struggle to get them out, I thought I'd lay the first of these on the carpet for you to see. These are called power lines and were designed by a former European Tour pro called Jeremy Bennett to promote the correct takeaway and setup position. Now, these are something I use down the driving range all of the time, especially the top 2 sets of discs that you can see, the smaller of the set. If you're lucky enough to use a driving range that has lines already on it, the top 2 set of discs replicate the white line that you have on your mat that shows the correct takeaway path and also the correct path post impact. So I can set these 2 sets of discs up to replicate that correctly on any driving range mat, and it was really helping me, especially on my takeaway, which, as I've mentioned many times before, does tend to get a little bit outside the line and disconnected. Also, the 3rd row down, where it's numbered 1 to 12, you'll notice that the number 1 and 10, 11 and 12 have little lines through them. And again, you set this up and put your left foot against the number 1 and then move your right foot to 10, 11, 12 on the longer clubs for driver, 3-wood, hybrid, that sort of thing, and it gives you the correct setup position. And also on the shorter irons, you can obviously just move your feet to a different number and know each time that you practice what number represents what setup position for each club. Now, halfway down you'll see a set of discs with a number of lines in it. This is a putting aid, and basically if you look 3 circles from the end, I'll try and point to it, this one here, if you put the ball on there, there's a little dimple that the ball sits in, and then you can putt down that towards the narrowing triangles and into the hole. And again, it just gives you feedback on making sure your club is going away square and certainly square impact. Again, this is something I do tend to use on a regular basis, especially in the summer when I'm working on my putting. What I will do is I will put a link to the Powerlines website, and if you want to look at this in more detail, it will give you more information about what all the discs are for and the various uses they have. And there are also some YouTube videos out there if you want to watch and see in more detail what it's all about. So again, these are called power lines and are something that I use every single practice session, especially down the range for the shorter ones and in the summer with my putting. So again, a functional piece of kit that I really like. Right then, the last gadget that lives in the side pocket of my practice bag is this, the swing guide. It's also the newest addition to my practice gadgets and something that's only been in there for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Again, if you look on the blog website, there has been a review of it already, and I'm not going to say too much about it because there's a YouTube video by a teaching professional called Dan Whitaker who can explain this in far better detail than I can. And what I'll do is I'll put a link to that video on this and you can go and watch it for yourself. Basically though, what happens is where you can see the nut, it attaches to the club and you have a bracket, and this device helps with the takeaway to make sure that you're hinging the club correctly and then getting it back into the correct position. If you do so, your left arm will nestle into the cradle, but if you take it away too far inside the line, you'll miss the cradle on the outside, and if you're somebody that takes the club away far too deeply, the cradle will miss you on the inside of the left arm. So that's all I'm going to say on it, and I'll let you watch the Dan Whitaker video for more information. But I will say this has been something that I'm really pleased with, and again, as I say, I've used it all the time, every time I go down the driving range or the practice ground, and has been a valuable addition to my practice bag. So I thoroughly recommend you get this. Now there are different versions of this available on the internet, but I have been told that some of these are made of inferior plastic and they do tend to snap rather easily. So my advice would actually be to find someone that does the swing guide itself, because it is made of very strong and robust plastic and has obviously taken quite a battering in my golf bag, being stuck in the side pocket with 1 or 2 other things. So I'm really happy with this, and it's something I can see me using again and again and again. And that is my final practice gadget. Right then everybody, that's my what's in the bag. Something a little bit different, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope there's some stuff in there that you might find useful for your own game. Now, as I say, some of the reviews I've done, especially things like the swing guide and the Swarovski laser rangefinder, you can find on my blog. So again, if you're looking on the PC, you can just go to the top of the screen on my homepage, my YouTube homepage, and there's a blog icon. You can just click on that. And if you're watching on an iPad or a mobile device, just scroll on to the About section, click on that, and then there's the website on there, and you can go in and have a look at the 3 After blog. If not, and you want to look it up, then if you go into Google and just put 3 After Tea or one word, it should find it. It's 3aftertea.blogspot.co.uk. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as I said before, hopefully this viral fatigue has now disappeared and gone away, and I can finally get back to doing what I love, which is going out and playing golf and hitting some golf balls. If you like what you've seen, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, and if you've got any comments, then please feel free to post them below as well. And I'll see you for the next video. Hopefully we'll be out on the golf course next time, and we can actually see me playing some golf and having some fun. See you then.